Good morning, it's Thursday the 4th of November. I want to share a word with you which I've recently discovered. It's the word eremos, which I found in a Tear Fund reflection by Gideon Hugh. It's a Greek word that's often used to describe a solitary, desolate place. Often it was used to describe a desert, but it actually refers to a deserted place, an uninhabited place, one in which in English we might call a wilderness. It's interesting that wilderness places in the Bible are often places of meeting with God. Elijah, Moses, the Israelites, and Jesus meet with God in wilderness places. Places where they find themselves alone with creation and alone with God. I suppose the value of a wilderness place is that there is time and space and silence, a place to be still, to be made whole, to re-evaluate and be re-energized. It's a place to be refreshed in the rhythms of nature, in fresh air and sunlight, and in touch with our Maker. Last year, when the first lockdown began, we were told that we could have 1 hour's exercise each day. I wonder how many of us then really valued the place of the outdoors. We may well have found a favourite walk or run, discovered a place where we could escape from our homes and were able to fill our lungs with fresh air, admire beautiful views, and be drawn to something beyond ourselves, to our Creator God. I suppose we were finding our eremos, our wilderness place. Now, some months on, we perhaps need to be reminded of the value that we placed on those routine times of exercise. I wonder how easily we've slipped into other patterns and routines and forgotten to set aside that space and time in our rhythms of life. How have we let busyness and other routines take over? The Greek philosopher Socrates said this: "Beware of the barrenness of a busy life." He said it nearly 2,500 years ago, and yet it speaks clearly to our society today, where we can so often be drawn into a busy, frantic, distracted life. In Luke 15 it says, Jesus himself would often slip away to the wilderness and pray. Was he finding his eremos, finding a wilderness place in which he could re-engage with God and be refreshed for what lay ahead? I like an idea that comes from the Russian Orthodox Church, who have a tradition of the pustina, which is their translation of eremos. A pustina is a small, lightly furnished cabin provided for quiet, solitary retreats. It's like a little miniature wilderness containing only a bed, a chair, a cross, and a Bible. Like the wilderness, these homes are not meant to house people indefinitely. Without food and amenities, they simply provide space and silence for those who want to listen to God. For each of us, our eremos will be different. It may be that we're not able to leave our homes and we have to find our wilderness place in more creative ways. We may have particular walks or runs or drives that take us to quiet places. We may simply need to shut our eyes from time to time, away from distractions, and be still in the presence of God. What space and time can you create today to slip away and to be with your Creator God? Let's pray. Loving God, may we find our eremos today, a quiet wilderness place where we can be open to your gentle presence which heals and restores. May we hear your still, small voice and experience your peace in our hearts. Amen.